Buongiorno a tutti, sono la signora Nasce, sono la vostra professoressa di italiano. Now, before we start to look at the verbs in Italian, we need to revise some of the English grammar. And first of all, we're going to have a look at the personal pronouns. So let you have a look and have a read. Now, here are the subject pronouns in English. You have two categories. You have the singular subject pronouns, I, you, he, she, it, or one, and the plural subject pronouns, we, you, they. Well, you can see that in Italian it's the same. You have the pronomi personali singolari, io, tu, lui, lei, or I pronomi personali plurali, noi, voi, loro. And as you notice, there is no it in Italian. Now, let's have a look at the infinitive of verbs. So in English, when a verb is preceded by a preposition to, it means the verb is in the indicative form. Therefore, it is the basic form of the verb when the verb is not conjugated. So for example, to be, to have, to run, to fly, to think, to love, to sing, etc. I verbi all'infinitivo in Italian, we have three different infinitives for regular verbs. You have the verbs that end in are, parlare, cantare, mangiare. The verbs that end in ere, scrivere, prendere, mettere. And the verbs that end with ire, partire, dormire, aprire. Now, let's have a closer look at the present tense in English. And something that you have to understand. In English, you have two main present tense in English. So you have the present simple, I tweet, I speak, I am. The present continuous, I am tweeting, I am speaking, I am being. In Italian, we have il presente indicativo. And the present tense in Italian is happening right now. It is a simple tense, which means there is one verb only. So we can use it to translate the English present simple or the English present continuous. I speak or I am speaking will be translated by io parlo, only one verb. Now, how do you form the present tense in Italian? Well, the present tense of a regular Italian verb is formed by dropping the infinitive ending and adding the appropriate endings to the resulting stem. So for example, if we have parlare, you drop the are and then you add the appropriate ending. Io parlo, tu parli, lui, lei parla, noi parliamo, voi parlate, loro parlano. Now with scrivere, a verb in ere, you drop the ere and then add the appropriate ending. Io scrivo, tu scrivi, lui, lei scrive, noi scriviamo, voi scrivete, loro scrivono. Now for dormire, io dormo, tu dormi, lui, lei dorme, noi dormiamo, voi dormite, loro dormono. Let's have a closer look at the conjugation of the verbs in are. So look at the pattern of the verb endings. Because the verb is a verb that ends in are, we find again the letter A in the third singular subject pronoun, lui, lei, the second and third plural subject pronouns, voi and loro. So mangiare, we drop the are, and then we have io mangio, tu mangi, lui, lei mangia, noi mangiamo, voi mangiate, loro mangiano. Now cantare, io canto, tu canti, lui, lei canta, noi cantiamo, voi cantate, loro cantano. And then finally inventare, io invento, tu inventi, lui, lei inventa, noi inventiamo, voi inventate, loro inventano. Now here is the list of a few verbs, regular verbs that end in are, and you can conjugate them yourself just by following the pattern that we've just seen. So for example, if we take the verb lavare, to wash, it would become io lavo, tu lavi, lui, lei lava, noi laviamo, voi lavate, loro lavano. Okay, now let's have a look at the verbs ending in ere. And because the verb is a verb that ends in ere, we find again the letter E in the third singular subject pronoun, lui, lei, and the second plural subject pronouns. So ripetere will drop the ere and then we will add the appropriate ending. Io ripeto, tu ripeti, lui, lei ripete, noi ripetiamo, voi ripetete, loro ripetono. And the same for scrivere and leggere. And here is a list of regular verbs that end in ere, and by following the patterns that we've just seen, you are able to conjugate those verbs. Now, look at the pattern of the verbs ending in ire. You need to be aware that with lui and lei, the verb ends in e and not in I. So it's to avoid confusion between tu apri and lui, lei apre, for example. And with voi, the verb ends in ite. So also you need to know that the regular verbs in ire have two variations. Let's have a look at the first one. So the regular one is aprire, which becomes io apro, tu apri, lui, lei apre, noi apriamo, voi aprite, loro aprono. Dormire, io dormo, tu dormi, lui, lei dorme, noi dormiamo, voi dormite, loro dormono. Partire, io parto, tu parti, lui, lei parte, noi partiamo, voi partite, loro partono. Now, let's have a look at the second variation of the verbs in ire. And you can see that we have added ISC to the stem of the verb in the first, io, second, tu, third, lui, lei, and sixth, loro, subject pronouns. So let's have a look at finire, capire, pulire. Finire, io finisco, tu finisci, lui, lei finisce, noi finiamo, voi finite, loro finiscono. Then capire, io capisco, tu capisci, lui, lei capisce, noi capiamo, voi capite, loro capiscono. Pulire, io pulisco, tu pulisci, lui, lei pulisce, noi puliamo, voi pulite, loro puliscono. And now, finally, let's just have a quick look at some of the irregular verbs that do not follow the aforementioned patterns. So we have essere, to be, io sono, tu sei, lui, lei è, noi siamo, voi siete, loro sono. Avere, io ho, tu hai, lui, lei ha, noi abbiamo, voi avete, loro hanno. And then bere, io bevo, tu bevi, lui, lei beve, noi beviamo, voi bevete, loro bevono. The verb here follows the pattern for the verbs ending in ere. So we're speaking about the verb bere. And indeed, the old spelling of the verb was bevere. Knowing that, it will become easy for you to conjugate it. So I wish you to have a great revision and see you soon. Ciao, ciao!